Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another episode of CABTV with your hosts Amira Badawi and Abbas Shams. Thank you for joining us today. It's time to take a look what was coming up today. Throughout the holy month of Ramadan, we've been looking at the importance of the Holy Quran in our religion. And one of the things that we are recommended when reciting the Holy Quran is to recite it with a beautiful voice. In a narration, the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, says, "Give beauty to the Quran with your voices." It is also widely reported that our fourth Imam Zain al-Abidin, peace be upon him, used to recite the Quran so beautifully that the people would stop and listen to him as they passed his house in Medina.
On the subject of the Holy Quran, let's listen to it now.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر صدق الله العلي العظيم.
شهر الخير والغفران
Event of Isra and Miraj. On 27th of Rajab, 621 CE, Allah took the Holy Prophet from Mecca to Jerusalem. This is known as Isra. And then from Jerusalem up to heaven. This is known as Miraj, the Ascension.
We often think that people from 1,000 years ago were living in the Dark Ages. But in Muslim civilization from the 7th century onward, there were amazing advances and inventions that still influence our everyday lives. Merino wool, most likely from Morocco, resulted from centuries of careful sheep breeding. Today, merino wool is popular amongst cyclists, hikers, runners, and other outdoor lovers.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another episode of Storytime. Today, I'm going to talk about Only for a Dog. It was just after midnight and the man was alone in a masjid. He had just begun his Salatul Layl, Namaz al-Shab, when he heard a noise from behind him. Immediately, he started praying slowly. He recited lengthy du'as in a beautiful voice. After he finished, he turned around to see a dog who had come in to take shelter from the rain outside. The man realized he had prayed only for a dog and not for Allah. So let us remember to do good and be good only for Allah, no matter who's watching. Thank you for joining us. See you again for another amazing story.
It's time to look at another summary from
Nahj al-Balagha.
My dearest child, have I ever told you about the time when there was a man who lived long before we did? The first man to accept the faith of the Prophet, Ali son of Talib. He was a wise man who entrusted us with his words. We mustn't ever forget about these words. Now, my child, read this sermon out loud for me, will you, dear?
Sure, Grandma. Winter, I will tell you about Jesus, son of Mary. He had a stone for his pillow, wore coarse dress, and ate rough food. His lamp at night was the moon, and the earth's vast expanse east and west, his roof during winter. His dessert and relish were what grows on the earth for cattle. His feet were his means of transport, and his 2 hands his servant.
Oh, that was lovely. That was lovely to hear, my little one. Now let's close this book and keep it in a safe place before we go to sleep.
Where shall I put it?
Put it on that shelf, dear.
The one over here?
Yes, right over there, next to the red book.
Here?
Aha, that's the one.
O angels of Ramadhan, descend upon the nights of Qadr. The night of Qadr is greater than 1,000 months. O angels of Ramadhan, fill the skies with light and love. The night of Qadr is greater than 1,000 months. The nights of power, the nights of destiny, these very special nights. The nights of power, the nights of destiny, these very special nights. Angels here and angels there, and angels everywhere. Angels here and angels there, and angels everywhere. Come on, join in. O angels of Ramadhan, descend upon the nights of Qadr. The night of Qadr is greater than 1,000 months. O angels of Ramadhan, fill the skies with light and love. The night of Qadr is greater than 1,000 months. The nights of power, the nights of destiny, these very special nights. The nights of power, the nights of destiny, these very special nights. Angels here and angels there, and angels everywhere. Angels here and angels there, and angels everywhere. O angels of Ramadhan, descend upon the nights of Qadr. The night of Qadr is greater than 1,000 months.
The little yellow taxi loves to travel every day. The little yellow taxi travels far, far away. But where will the little yellow taxi travel on this day? Let's take a trip with the little yellow taxi. Hooray! The little yellow taxi wants to go to Italy to visit the Colosseum. But before we leave the house to travel, we should recite this dua. Bismillahi amantu billah. وتوكلت على الله ما شاء الله لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. When the little yellow taxi was just a little taxi, his mummy yellow taxi told him all about the Colosseum. Once upon a time, there was an emperor called Vespasian. Vespasian decided to build the Colosseum after he won the war between the Romans and the Jewish. The Colosseum, which is also known as the Flavian Amphitheatre, is a very big building as it has a perimeter of 1,788 feet. The Colosseum was used to host gladiator fights, and it became a famous place for gladiator games which used wild animals like lions, alligators, ostrich, elephants, tigers, leopards, and giraffe. Vespasian's son, the Emperor Titus, was the first emperor to hold games in the Colosseum. Below the Colosseum, there were numerous underground passages where animals and gladiators were kept. They say there was also 36 trap doors for special effects. When we arrive to a new country, we recite this dua. اللهم إني أسألك خيرها وأعوذ بك من شرها. اللهم حببنا إلى أهلها وحبب صالح أهلها إلينا. The little yellow taxi has finally arrived in Rome, Italy. The little yellow taxi is amazed to see how the Colosseum has 80 entrances and houses 50,000 spectators. It is said that the Colosseum was free entry for all the ancient Romans, and they would even be fed throughout the show. These game festivals would last up to 100 days. Wow! MashaAllah! It is getting late now, and it's time for the little yellow taxi to head back home. But before he returns, he must remember to recite his dua for the journey back. آئبون تائبون إن شاء الله عابدون راكعون ساجدون لربنا حامدون. اللهم لك الحمد على حفظك إياي في سفري وحاضري. اللهم اجعل أباتي هذه مباركة ميمونة مقرونة بتوبة نصوحة توجب لي بها السعادة يا أرحم الراحمين. Now the little yellow taxi is ready to go home. Goodbye, little yellow taxi. Hoot hoot.
Hard at first, but rewarding at the end of the day.
This year it's going to be my first Ramadan.
My first Ramadan was really difficult because I was really hot, and I got thirsty really fast. Every time I come back from school, I sleep and the day is still so long.
The hardest thing about fasting is surviving 19 hours without no food or no water, especially when it is hot and sunny and you have been running around. The hardest thing is not being able to drink or eat during the hottest days of the year. Once I fasted, and it's very hard to fast, so you should always eat your sahur, and when you fast as a child, you'll be able to fast more easier when you're an adult. This year will be my first year of fasting. I like Ramadan because we see our family and friends and we break our fast together. One night I had to stay up all night. By worshipping Allah, I stayed up till Fajr.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm the Hijab Fairy, and today I'm going to introduce another beautiful young girl and her experiences with hijab. Are you ready to watch with me? Let's go.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Sayeda Zainab Alibai and I am 8 years old. At the age of 6, I started to wear a hijab everywhere, even at school. At a very young age, I went to the mosque and I was happily wearing the hijab. I felt very proud and comfortable. Only a few years later, I started to wear it permanently. I also wore it to madrasa and to special Islamic events. The ladies of Ahlul Bayt inspired me to wear hijab. As Bibi Zainab had her hijab snatched away from her, yet she still tried her hardest to follow Islam. Wassalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I hope you enjoyed watching her video. I'll see you again soon for another hijab story. Lots of love and du'as.
Throughout the holy nights of this month, and after we have broken our fasts, we begin with reciting verses from the opening supplication known as Du'a al-Iftitah.
These words are beautifully written and spoken by the 12th Imam, peace be upon him.
We've tried to make the understanding of these verses easier in our next show, so here's Du'a al-Iftitah.
Assalamu alaikum. How wonderful the world is. Mountains, rivers, forests, farmland, lakes and grassland, that all evidence Allah's bounty and grace. How blessed we are to be able to communicate with the magnificent Creator who brought everything into existence and has made it possible for us to survive and benefit from all of His bright and beautiful signs. He facilitated means whereby all of us may draw benefit from the light of guidance that He sent down with the Holy Messenger and his progeny, whom He appointed exemplars and role models for humankind. May Allah Almighty enable us to be included under the supervision of the owner of the time, Imam al-Mahdi, who is always with us, illuminating our way, even though we're not able to see him. Imam al-Mahdi shares his words in the inspiring Dua al-Iftitah that all believers read during the holy month of Ramadan. Let us listen to a part of this dua and find out what it means.
والحمد لله قاصم الجبارين مبير الظالمين مدرك الهاربين نكال الظالمين صريخ المستصرخين موضع حاجات الطالبين معتمد المؤمنين.
In this part of the dua, the words we hear say, all praise be to Allah, who shatters the power of despots, removes the unjust, restrains those who attempt to escape, holds the deceitful to account, brings relief to all who implore Him, satisfies those who appeal to Him, upon whom all believers entirely depend. These beautiful words move my heart as a humble servant of Allah and as an avid follower of Ahl Bayt. Praise be to Allah, under whose protection we all are, today and every day of our lives.
It's time to do our daily dua in Up in the Clouds. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. اللهم طهرني فيه من الدنس والأقذار وصبرني فيه على كائنات الأقدار ووفقني فيه للتقى والصحبة الأبرار بعونك يا قرة عين مساكين وصل اللهم على محمد وآله الطاهرين. Thank you for watching. CABTV is back at the same time tomorrow, and until then, take care. Bye.
أنا أحبك يا شهر الخير لأنك أحلى أيامي أحب أزور أحبابي وأخوالي وعمامي أنا أحبك يا شهر الخير لأنك أحلى أيامي أنا أحبك يا شهر الخير